Hi there. How are you doing today? Great. My name is Lauren, and I'm one of the fragrance sales associates. Is there anything in particular that I can help you with? Okay. You're shopping for yourself today? Well, that sounds great. Is there any particular genre of fragrance that you're most interested in exploring? Like a citrus or a spicier fragrance, woods, something more aquatic? Not any one genre, just as long as the fragrance is fresh? Okay. And what would be the context or the setting that you would be wearing the fragrance in? More of a casual, everyday school or work environment, or would this be for more of a formal event? Casual everyday? For a work day in particular? Okay. So just to make sure we're on the same page, you're looking for a fresh fragrance that will be suitable for every day and for a work day in particular, and have the longevity to last for most of the workday, but not be too intimidating or imposing in a space. Okay. So there are a few particular fragrances that immediately come to mind, and my idea that I'd like to run by you is that I would like to show you a diverse array of fragrances. So each I would classify under the fresh umbrella, but they may offer a distinct take on fresh. So one may have more of a citrus fresh, a spicy fresh, woods, an aquatic, and so on and so forth. That way you can compare and contrast and see which one you think is most appealing and ultimately most suitable to you. Does that sound okay? Okay, great. So the first fragrance that I would like to show you comes to us from the house of Giorgio Armani, and it is called Armani Code Sport. Now, you may be familiar with its predecessor, which is called Armani Code. So Code Sport is what we refer to as a flanker, meaning an updated take on or iteration of an existing fragrance that's already been released. In this case, a new take on Armani Code. Now, as the name would suggest, Code Sport is a very dynamic and energetic fragrance that is intended for someone maybe who has more of an active lifestyle. And this I would associate more with the citrus minty fresh fragrances. So we're starting off with some citrus. And the opening has this really lovely confluence of mint and citrus, in particular spearmint and lemon, which is really quite lovely. And this is a personal favorite of mine. How was the performance? Okay, well, I think one of the reasons I wanted to show you this, which is very relevant, is that for a citrus fresh fragrance, this actually has better performance. In fact, I think you would get moderate to above average longevity from this fragrance. Citrus fresh fragrances aren't generally known for having the best longevity. They don't really have the reputation for that, but the Armani Code Sport has above average longevity, I would say. So it should last you the majority of, if not the entirety of the workday. I would think so. Would you like to give it a try? Okay, great. All right. and this should give you a really good feel for the opening of the fragrance. mix of the citrus and the mint. All right, here you go. What do you think? It is, yes. It has sort of a refreshing, invigorating quality to it. I think the mint really contributes to that, the spearmint. You like it? Awesome. So I will go ahead and set that one aside because it is a contender, and I will leave it there as we continue to look at the rest, okay? I just love this fragrance, and I'm so glad that you like it too. It's lovely. And to build on the citrus, those are some of my personal favorite fragrances, but to also add a new dimension of some woods and some spice, I would like to show you a fragrance called Gucci Guilty Black. And it is a flanker of an existing Gucci fragrance called Gucci Guilty. This is a very green fragrance, and the opening includes citrus, woods, and a spicier dimension that's achieved via a note of coriander, which is really interesting, and you should be able to pick up on that in the opening of the fragrance. Would you like to give it a try? Okay. All right. Here you go. It is, it's really nice, and it's fairly soft as well. Yes, the opening of this fragrance is well known. It's certainly a crowd pleaser, and I would say has a lot of potential for you to receive compliments. Well, I do have one criticism of this fragrance that I think you should be made aware of, and that has to do with the longevity. I would say that you will only get about maybe 2 to 4 hours wear out of this fragrance. Now, of course, if you're not opposed to reapplying throughout the day, then I don't think that would be much of an issue. But if you think that would be a hassle, I totally understand. Yeah, this fragrance does not score high in the longevity category. No. What do you think? You're gonna pass? Okay, I totally understand. So the third fragrance that I would like to show you is also a citrus, but it builds on that spicier dimension. And it is by Mont Blanc, and it's called Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Yes. And Legend Spirit is another flanker. It is an update on Mont Blanc Legend. And I believe Legend Spirit is the most current release that I am showing you today. And it has a lovely note of grapefruit in the opening, as well as some pepper to add a spicier nuance. And I would say you would get probably moderate performance from this. Of course, that varies from person to person. As the fragrance interacts with your body chemistry, it can be variable. Would you like to give it a try? Okay. And this fragrance, I think, has probably one of my favorite openings of the fragrances that have been released this year. Here you go. You like it? Yes, it has a brightness to it, doesn't it? It's very fresh. You'd like me to set it aside along with the Armani? Okay. Awesome. So, as of right now, then, we have the Armani Code Sport, and now the addition of the Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. All right, two very great selections so far. So, the final fragrance that I would like to show you before we wrap up is more of an aquatic fragrance, and it is by Calvin Klein. It's called Eternity Aqua. And what you see is what you get with this fragrance. It is an aquatic. It has notes that are very reminiscent of that. So I would say more watery notes like cucumber, lotus, leaves, and even some subtle saltiness that's evocative of sea breeze. You're familiar with Eternity? Yes, it is. It's the same bottle, and just it has the green color. So Aqua is a new take on that, just more of an aquatic update. Acqua di Gio by Armani. Yes, that's probably the most well-known aquatic fragrance. And I believe it's the most popular cologne globally to this day. It's been very popular for several years, and that is not a bad reference point for this cologne. If you are very familiar with Acqua di Gio, that's something you can keep in mind as you smell this. I would say, though, this is maybe not quite as strong as Acqua di Gio. Would you like to try it? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Here you go. It is nice. Very easygoing. You think it's generic? Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I don't think it's the most creative or original, and generic isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if that's not what you're looking for today, I totally understand. I think you've made some great selections already. Okay. All right. No problem. So, just to review, we have the Armani Code Sport, which gives more of a citrus minty take on a fresh fragrance. And then the second fragrance that you liked was by Mont Blanc, and it is called Legend Spirit. And that is going to be a citrus as well, but with a little bit more of spice. And they both have moderate performance and longevity. Armani Code Sport may have a little bit of an edge with the longevity between the two of them, but I wanted to let you know that if you do decide to purchase both, you are more than able to return one within 60 days. Whichever one you think maybe is least suitable, you can return to us within 60 days and you will receive a full refund. Yes, and I also forgot to mention that today and for the remainder of the week, we are doing a special where if you buy one fragrance, you will get the second one 30% off. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. You'd like to take advantage of that? Okay, well that sounds great. So just be sure to check out up at the front whenever you're ready, and the discount will be applied. Absolutely. I'm so glad that I could help today. I think you've made some really great selections. All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.